Support for Lab Out Loud is provided by the National Science Teachers Association. Find out more at nsta.org. You're listening to Lab Out Loud, Science for the Classroom and Beyond. I'm your co-host, Dale Basler.
And I'm your other co-host, Brian Bartel.
So the other day I was watching TV, and it was Jimmy Kimmel Live. Do you ever watch that show?
Yeah.
And DJ Khaled was on. Do you know who DJ Khaled is?
I don't.
He's not really a singer, but he has an album out, and you probably the song that's like, all I do is win, win, win. You know that song?
Yeah. That I recognize.
He has all kinds of songs. Basically, he's a producer and a DJ, and he has a new album out called Grateful. And on the cover of the album is his son, and his son is the only executive producer of the album. His son is going to be one. And so he's telling Jimmy Kimmel, about this and stuff like that, and funny that his son is that. And he's like, his son is having a birthday party coming up, and they say, when's the birthday? Oh, it's October 23rd. Oh. Now, naturally, I shift from, listening to just stories about Hollywood to, oh, your son's born on Mole Day.
Yeah.
So there's a part of me of like, I really want DJ Khaled to know that his son is born on Mole Day. And how could we make that happen? So I was like, oh, yeah, your science brain just kicks in for Mole Day. You did all kinds of Mole Day stuff, right?
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, my sister's birthday is on Mole Day. And that I was always jealous of that because, I'm teaching chemistry, and here's someone who she's an English teacher, and she has Mole Day as her birthday. I mean, seriously, that I got the short end of that stick, right? And
I was always jealous of the chemistry teachers for Mole Day because they seem to be having so much fun. And that's what happened after I looked up Mole Day. A little after I kind of looked up and I was like, oh, your son's born on Mole Day. And I started digging around and I stumbled upon the whole Mole Day Foundation and stuff like that. I didn't realize that you guys had all this going on.
We have our own holiday.
Yeah, going on in the background. And we physics teachers would sit there and be like, well, we want to do something too.
Yeah. I used to have I had a banner that was made from the previous chemistry teacher, and the hilarity of it is it's like an old print shop banner because it's got like that dot matrix paper when you could really make banners like that, and then it was it was just laminated. So I kept it because it's like old and campy. So I hope it's still there. And I'd hand out periodic table cards, and the kids loved those because they didn't really appreciate it, but then they got it later on that was like, oh, this is perfect. And I still have kids that, well, they're not kids anymore, that contact me and they're like, I have this in college, and other kids were just jealous of this, and we'd have fun. It was one year I made molasses cookies.
Oh,
and you can even buy like cookie cutters, so it's mole asses.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. And then you can have there's the National Mole Day Foundation, which is, lo and behold. Did you know this? The history of it, the guy that founded it is from Wisconsin,
where we are. Yeah, I've met him, actually. I bought stuff from him. I have stuffed moles. And
Yeah. Maurice Ayler is his name. I found this, and we'll put it in the show notes. We thought about interviewing him, but he's a little hard to get a hold of these days. He's in his 80s. Mm-hmm. But his college did a tribute to him about all his work in Mole Day, and they have an interview with him and his work, and some outstanding pictures of his early teaching and all that kind of stuff. And it's excellent. Well, I really highly recommend people watch it. It's really neat to see something like now that's done probably not just in the U.S., all over the world where there's people doing Mole Day. But, this guy kind of got it rolling and off the ground. He wears his National Mole Day T-shirts just out and about.
Yeah. I've actually purchased a lot of Mole Day things from the foundation, and like I said, I stuffed moles, and I think I had a Mole Day lab coat and other things like that. So it was great fun. It was a great excuse to get like chemistry paraphernalia. Is that the right way to say that?
I don't think that's the right way to say that.
No, chemistry swag. There we go.
Chemistry swag. Yes, chemistry tote bags full of things. Well, we're really curious if any listeners out there of what they do for Mole Day. I know the chemistry teachers around me would color a mole. We physics teachers tried to copy that by coloring Newtons. That was the only thing we had.
Well, you have Pi Day. I mean, that's
Pi Day.
You share that with math
Einstein's
teachers,
birthday, though. It's Einstein's birthday, so we I don't know. Mole Day just seems so uniquely perfect for chemistry.
It is. The problem that I had with it is that and this is where we were in our kind of sequence, it was a little too early in the year. So October 23rd, we really haven't dug into the concept of Mole Day. So it was like, we're going to celebrate this, but the kids don't know exactly why. And then it becomes a little bit more understood later. So it was just the sequence of it. So, I mean, I don't have any problem with it being October 23rd, but, it would have been handier if it was like 11:28 or something like that.
Now, were you really hardcore and did it at like 6:02 in the morning too?
No, 1 or 2 years I did, but no, I and getting older, kids get in the way, But there might be
listeners that don't know what a mole is. First of all, what is a mole for any listeners who aren't teaching chemistry?
Well, it's a matter of counting. Basically, it's a way to describe.
It's like dozen, right?
We use that analogy, of course, but it's a really, 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 really big dozen. It's 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd particles. Now, often we kind of think about that like atoms in a mole or molecules in a mole, but it's just a way of counting. And it's such an astronomically huge number to imagine. And so this concept allows us to kind of bring it back to, to the real world. And later on, when we learned about the mole, we'd actually have students measure out chemicals in a mole. Like, what's a mole of salt? And it's 58.5 grams. And you can actually measure that out in a beaker. I
remember doing a mole of aluminum.
Yeah, and that's the fun one because that one, you can just get aluminum foil and measure that out, and then you can actually take a mole with you. I actually had students that would take that aluminum foil and make it shape it into a mole too. So physically, that was kind of the fun one. So, but when you kind of get the concept of there are actually 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms or molecules in this physical sample that I'm holding in my hands, that boggles the mind for some of those students, and it's a really hard concept to kind of wrap your head around or get your head into, but it's definitely a cornerstone of chemistry and doing calculations within chemistry.
For sure. Well, it's kind of fascinating that a scientific number has its own cute little mascot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the other numbers now that, speed of light. Yeah. You need a little guy for them.
A little guy for speed of light. And now that I'm thinking about it more, other ideas are flashing back to my 1 year. Students did Mole Day chalking outside, where they go on the sidewalk and chalk out Happy Mole Day kind of stuff. And so, I am curious to see what other people did.
Yeah, well, let's, listeners, if you have a favorite Mole Day activity, please leave it in the comments for this post. We're going to release this show, if you're listening to it, right before Mole Day to kind of put it out there. And if you're doing something, and if you're not a Mole Day person like myself and have an idea that's out there for the next great idea for maybe there is a speed of light day or something else that we can think of, we'd like to hear that too.
But as you're celebrating Mole Day, take some pictures of you and your students and what are you doing, and send them to us. Tweet them to us at Lab Out Loud, or post them to our Facebook page or group as well. So share your pictures, and we'd love to see what you're doing.
The Mole Day hashtag is already spooling up online, so it's a good way to kind of start sharing it out there.
Absolutely. So we'd love to see what you're doing, and can't wait to see how you're celebrating Mole Day.
For sure. For links and other information related to this episode, visit laboutloud.com. You can send us your questions and comments at laboutloud.com/contact.
If you enjoyed the show, make sure you've subscribed on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, or your favorite podcasting platform. And if you really enjoyed it, consider leaving us a rating or a review. Your feedback helps others find our show.
Until next time, I'm Dale Basler.
And I'm Brian Bartell.